Hello and welcome to the Black Complementary Therapist. I'm your host Pauline and this is my podcast, and it is centered on the experience of moi to begin with, but hopefully expanding out to the experience of other Black Complementary Therapists. So every 14 days I aim to put out an episode, and here today we're going to talk about the service sector and the element of surprise and its importance. I've had some surprises this last few weeks as well, with lovely messages saying how people have found my podcast and how they've enjoyed it. And I'm hoping you'll continue to be part of the Black Complementary Therapist family. I produce this podcast from the profits of my business, which is Pendulum Massage. I'm a massage therapist based in E14 in London. So if that's something that you would like to partake of, I have online booking and all of that stuff. If you'd like to support my work, I would be so grateful if you could leave me 5-star reviews or book in for a massage. Why don't you? Okay. Someone who left me a really lovely comment on Instagram recently was June Allen. Sent me a lovely little note to say she's enjoying the podcast. June Allen runs a business called Yard of Greatness. She's on Instagram as well, and she is a racial trauma therapist, and she's doing excellent work around the subject of trauma, around the subject of the mother wound, and these things around our identity, around race, and around how we deal with trauma of life in general. Okay, so it's time to breathe, because knowledge and understanding is easier to come by with a mind that is less stressed, a mind that is open, and a mind not in fight, flight, and freeze mode. Let's breathe. Breathe in nourishment, breathe out stress. Breathe in air, breathe out the carbon dioxide. Great. Okay, so in this episode today, I'm going to look at the secret of customer loyalty in the service sector. That's the title of the book that I read by Vincent P. Manini, and it was released in 2015, this particular book, by the Business Expert Press. And I'm using this book as an inspiration within complementary therapies. And I think the key words for this are customer delight, customer services, service marketing, customer surprise. The service sector is a huge, huge sector, and it's one people come to for lots of different reasons, because they want to eat, because they want to be treated, because they need a service to be done to repair something or to make something, all of these things. So it is a very creative sector. It is a sector that is usually one-on-one. Because the service sector is one where customers know what good service is, it's important to think about how to stop that process of sleepwalking that customers often do when they get a service. So say, for example, I want to buy a veggie burger, and I want to buy a veggie burger that is exceptional and nutritious. Now, a regular veggie burger is not necessarily nutritious, but if I go somewhere and I want that, I want to find that the product is not only nutritious, but it tastes good. And what will get me going back is how it's sold to me. Not the product itself, but how it's sold. And that's the important distinction. If you go somewhere and you get that veggie burger and it's microwaved and handed to you on a piece of styrofoam, why is that going to be exceptional? However, if you go for a veggie burger and it's made on a gorgeous spelt bun, the maker of that burger tells you what's so special about it. The maker asks you what kind of deviations from the norm you would like on that burger. So what sort of toppings? Do you like it with a relish? When you get that burger, you're going to feel like wow, you're really ready for this burger. And then, this is before you've even eaten it. Then when you eat it and it tastes good, possibly outstanding, possibly exceptional, that is the point where customer loyalty lies. You will tell your friends, you will tell all and sundry about this wonderful burger. If, however, that burger was not exceptional, the service was not exceptional, you're not going to tell anybody. And worse still, you may even tell people it wasn't that great, it wasn't that exceptional. And there's a difference between customer loyalty and just being good. What you don't want is someone to sleepwalk through your experience. So if you go for that burger and it's okay, you eat it, it's done, the moment's finished. How do you create good service in complementary therapies then? That's not an experience that you walk through. Good service is about good quality assurance, hygiene and regulations are followed, and that you've got qualifications. Everyone can deliver a good service. You leave your course delivering good service if you follow the steps that your teacher gave you, and if you pass that test and know what to do with regard to all of those things. Of course you do. So many services do the above, many businesses do the above. So you go to, your acupuncturist, they do the things, they say, all done, they take the needles out, thank you for coming, do you want to book in for the future? Well, no one's going to rush and book in for the future if the service is just fair or good. What they come back for, what they're loyal about, is exceptional service. But how do you deliver that exceptional service? The secret of customer loyalty is the title. He doesn't keep that secret for long, though. Vincent P. Magnini tells you what the secret is. The secret is surprise. Simple as that. One word. Surprise. Okay, let's go into it. Many businesses do the above and the customers, like I said, sleepwalk through the experience. 4-star reviews will be abound, but why do that? Why not spot the element of surprise? Whatever that element of surprise is, spot it and use it. Sometimes customers do stop you providing the element of surprise though. They do that by bringing their own stuff with them. Really annoying. They bring their own towels or they bring their own attitude. And they bring a sense that I know what good service is and you ain't going to provide it, even though I'm paying you for this moment now. So what do? They look around looking for fault or jumping over hurdles that really aren't there. Customers anticipating what comes next is the worst. Oh, could you work there harder? Oh, could you just do that spot for a bit more? Forgetting that perhaps there is an area to be balanced up a bit. Yes, we want to address the first thing they say. So they say you've got pain in the shoulder blades. Of course you're going to put the needles there. Of course you're going to massage there extra. But sometimes other areas can benefit from treatment too. That may be an element of surprise for them. So, surprise is overcoming the minefield of boring information. Simple surprise is delight by creating script deviations that cement customer loyalty. Boom, there it is. To overcome the minefield of boring information, simple surprise is delight by creating script deviations that cement customer loyalty. But how do you do that? You must be ready to delight and surprise your clients. So, if you've got a script, create a new one. Write your customer journey from start to finish. So, as far as you're concerned, the point of inception, where that client hears about you, is the point where you need to grab them. If they've heard about you, now they need to contact you. Do you have everything there ready for them to get in touch with you? You should do. So there should be a phone number or a website or something that leads them to you. How do they contact you? Can they email? Can they write? Can they phone you? Can they contact you on social media? All of those things are ever so important. And then once they found you, how do they find out about your services? Have you got them all written down somewhere so that they can get in touch? Really important. Then once they've found you and they've got in touch with you, how do they book you? Can they easily pay you? Once they've booked their appointment and they know when they're getting to you, do you send them a reminder? Do you have directions on how to find you? Is parking easy? But this is London, and London is becoming a hostile environment for car drivers. So being able to pinpoint how people can get to you with the greatest ease without getting a ticket is paramount. Once they've arrived at via, whether it's public transport or local because they're walking or cycling or driving, then it's about your treatment room and the consultation. Each of these stages, from start finding you to inception, to getting through to you, to having a treatment, to leaving you, and what communications you send when they've left, are all points of entry for surprise. And building that into your treatment is so important. I read about a study from the Harvard Business School Review of 1990 written by Hart, Heskett and Sasser. I'll put it in the show notes, where they talk about surprise as an awareness of an unexpected and astonishing event. Oh, shock, horror, astonishing. And they talk about surprise as being a physiological and an emotional response to things. So physiologically, your heart rate changes and there is an increase in blood pressure when there's a surprise and a physiological sense of arousal. Brain activity changes in this physiological sense of arousal and the pleasure centers light up. With this, there's a roller coaster effect, and the roller coaster effect is a dopamine release which focuses your brain whilst noradrenaline is released and excitement ensues. And with this, for a millisecond, for a 1/25th of a second, there is a sense of brain freeze. What happens during this brain freeze? It's what is going on? Surprise. It's curiosity. And this is the element where the feels are more intense, the memory is heightened, and at that moment of creativity in the mind, we think outside of the box because we are surprised. In that moment, that 1/25th of a second, we're like, wow, that is beautiful. That is surprise. Sometimes surprise comes in the most fascinating of ways. It is the element of surprise that brings people back and it makes them feel cared for. So how can you, in your complementary therapy role, make use of the element of surprise in your work? Like I said before, surprise can be anywhere in the customer journey. I know, for example, really good massage therapists who, when you go to their website, you can't book. You've got to do all manner of things. And you think, what the heck? Can I just book the treatment? And you can't, because when you go to the website, it says book now. You click on book now and it says, and then what comes up is a phone number. Whereas if you do that at midnight and you go through to the website and it says book now and you click on that and it says, yeah, what time do you want, mate? You're in, like Flynn. Of course you want to book for the next day at a sensible time that is available. If, for example, there's a time you can't have, obviously you're going to then ring, but otherwise you just want to book. So yeah, think about your customer journey from the moment of inception when they think about you. How can I find more about this person? I really want to know. They go on your website. Oh, there's about page. Ooh, you can book there. Ooh, they've got services. Yes, you're in like Flynn. Then from there, your customer journey, how they find you. Is your treatment room accessible? Is it close to public transport? Is there parking? If there's no parking, do they explain that? Where is the nearest park? All of those things you need to include. How you can be contacted. What sort of communications do you have? Do they have special offers? All of these things push their experience from average to good to surprisingly outstanding. We like that. So in today's show notes, I'm going to put the title of the book. Let you think about your ideas for signature treatments or signature services that you may want to provide that are exceptional and above and beyond what other people use. And I'd like to include all of those things there. Yeah, let's do that. So now I am going to finish up with something I thought would be particularly beautiful. We complementary therapists often work on our own. We often work one-to-one with people, And we give so much of our time and our energy, and we work hard in order to replenish that energy like the circle of life. So what we give, we do need to receive back. And because of this, I know it's really difficult sometimes to find that sense of ceremony in what we do. So when I found this particular resource from this particular person who has now passed away, I felt as though it was one of the most beautiful things that I had heard in the longest while, specifically for people who work with people through the act of service. That he was a Catholic priest I found interesting, and that he created blessings that humanists and everybody else could use if they wanted was even more beautiful. So, it's from a book called Amankara, and it's by John O'Donoghue. Do you know, I can hardly see this. Here we go, that's it. May the light of your soul guide you. May the light of your soul bless the work you do with the secret love and warmth of your heart. May you see in what you do the beauty of your own soul. May the sacredness of your work bring healing, light and renewal to those who work with you and to those who see and receive your work. May your work never weary you. May it release within you a wellspring of refreshment, inspiration and excitement. May you be present in what you do. May you never become lost in the bland absences. May the day never burden. May dawn bring you awake and alert, approaching your new day with dreams, possibilities and promises. May evening find you gracious and fulfilled. May you come into the night blessed, sheltered and protected. May your soul calm, console and renew you. I don't think there's much else I can add to that, but the first time I heard this blessing, I was listening to an audiobook, and it was read by his brother because he's passed now. And I was on the escalator going down the station platform on the Elizabeth line. And I was a little bit tired. It was the end of a long day. But to receive that was wonderful. And it had me thinking that when your service is understood, of course, at times you may feel depleted. The whole point of work in an act of service is that at some point you are replenished. So I would consider any resource that replenishes you, that gives you ideas about how to continue on with something in a sustainable way, would be a blessing. So with that in mind, I sign off and wish you a wonderful week ahead and many points where you think, I can create elements of surprise to delight. Okay, take care. Don't forget, I love 5-star reviews and I love clients booking in. So one of those things would be wonderful. Take care and catch you in about 14 days. Bye.